Well, let's really move on to our next issue of discussion, where as far as politics is concerned, the ability to connect with key stakeholders is a hallmark of leadership. In a bid to chart a new course for development in the North Central Zone, governors and leadership of the ruling All Progressives Congress held a high-powered zonal meeting to discuss issues affecting the growth of the party. At the meeting in Lafia, Nasarawa State capital, the leaders drummed support for the creation of North Central Development Commission, which will address key issues like infrastructure deficits, insecurity, and other violent crimes that have limited agriculture production in the region. Let's share the story by TVC News' Godwin Agwam with you.
It's the first time since the beginning of the current political dispensation that leaders of the APC in the North Central will be converging, and this is taking place in Lafia, the capital of Nasarawa State. President Bola Tinubu is represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Governors of the region, senators, ministers are also in attendance, and the national chairman of the party is a special guest here. Leaders of the region are pushing for a common front and seeking for better reward system for their contributions to the party.
Our challenges can be solved. Most of our challenges can be solved by setting up the North Central Development Commission, where we can challenge all our challenges. All our challenges of investments, solid minerals, infrastructural deficit, healthcare, human capital development issues. We've had a huge discussion on this and have decided that we'll push this forward and make sure that hopefully this year we'll get the North Central Development Commission passed by the National Assembly.
Once we truly work united from the inside of our hearts and the outside, then in reality we will be able to get more for our own people.
Our region is supposed to be the luckiest or the richest in Nigeria. We have the heaviest deposit of mineral resources. Our land is generally arable, and we have massive water bodies to drive irrigation, transportation, and blue economy. We have no reason not to take the lead in the New Hope agenda of Mr. President.
All our neighbors are so infested with the insecurities. It is something no single state can fight on our own. But when we put our heads together, already we will defeat the monster.
President Bola Tinubu and the national chairman assured the region that their contributions to the party will not go unnoticed and will be duly rewarded.
At the end of the day, North Central will continue to stand tall within the APC and within the affairs of our country.
Another reform that we have introduced is the e-registration of our members in order to have an accurate data of our party. Business is not as usual. Election of nowadays is scientific. It has to be planned. Therefore, e-registration will give us an accurate number of our party members in the country.
Other party stalwarts are confident that with unity of purpose, the party will continue to weather any storm and achieve its goals.
To have a common unity of purpose, to work together for the development of the party, to deliver the party, and to also open room for other people to come in. By the time they see that we have a level playing ground, justice, fairness, and equity within the party members and the supporters, you see that we have a lot of massive supporters.
The meeting had a large turnout of party members and leaders as it seeks to build a strong bond of fellowship in the region. Godwin Agwam, TVC News, Lafia.
Labisi, let me bring you in on this matter because this is discussions, we've been talking about the North Central, or will I say the Northeast in general. Now they've come together to find a way to resolve the peculiar challenge, if I would say, about their region. What are your thoughts, first off, on this arrangements from leaders of the party?
I think it's a good development for the region to come together to discuss their peculiar challenges. They talk about insecurity, they talk about infrastructural deficits, and of course, when you bring in the politics aspect of it, they talk about reward system for their loyalty, which isn't
out of place.
Out of place, yeah. When you look at that region, for example, you know that we have issues with insecurity, and that region also is kind of centralized. That is why they call it North Central. It's like central of Nigeria, is with middle. And activities there is important. They are important to the overall growth of the country. And I also think in that area too, they produce lots of food in that region. And they also have peculiar challenge with flooding, and such that I think there was a particular bad one that happened in 2022, which they say they are still battling from. And, you know, they have this river
basin.
In that area. And there were cases in the past that once that place is overflooded, it blocks people even from getting to Abuja and other parts of the northern parts of the country. So I think it's good to talk about such problems. And if you bring it back home to insecurity, just last week or 2 weeks ago, students of the State University in Kogi, they were attacked, even though some of them were rescued, but some were still killed. Yeah, so that which is a serious problem. And we've also had cases of passengers being kidnapped and different kinds of challenges, really. So I think it's a step in the right direction for them to bring their problems to the public arena and to actually seek the intervention of the federal government in tackling some of these challenges. So I think they've done well in that regard. I think also there was a time that Southwest governors were doing that. They even went beyond party affiliation. I think about 5-7 years ago, can't remember. I know that Ekiti State governor was in the PDP then, but these Southwest governors, they met in Oyo State at that time to talk about their own
germane issues.
Yes, so I think it's something that we should encourage, because if we are able to actually get development at the regional level, maybe these calls and yearnings for all this restructuring, yes, we bring them down, because what we are really interested in is development at that regional level. So if we can work more on this kind of arrangements and we bring it to practicality,
right,
not just having a talk show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it will all go well for the entire development.
I wanted to go on that, because we've had a lot of this BKO in terms of, having people to come, sit down, talk, and we don't have any concrete action coming out of it. But how optimistic are you about this arrangements from the North Central? Do you see anything promising here? Let it not just be like, oh, we just come talk and then back to...
I think this is the first time that key figures from the North Central within the APC are coming together. They must have come together because they feel shortchanged. The zone wanted to produce the House of Rep Speaker because it felt that it was due for it. It didn't get it. The zone wanted to produce the chairman of APC, national chairman of APC. He also didn't get it. They've been unhappy since then, and they just felt, okay, let us come together. Now we are seeing governors at the meeting, big figures within the party, including the former national chairman of the APC, Abdullah Adamu. He was also president. So it's very significant. And I looked at some of the demands that they made. It's looking, this one, these demands are even beyond so these demands cut across party lines. For example, their desire to have the Ajaokuta Steel Company resuscitated. This is a national demand. This one, you can't even bring this under APC. There's no reason in the world for us to have Ajaokuta not working. The day I visited the place and I saw weeds growing as tall as a 2-story building, and you know that, yes, we had misbehaved. Successive governments misbehaved to the point of letting that steel company rot away like that. And we are importing steel. When we can actually make a lot of money from what we have in Ajaokuta. It's a very big place. Very, very big. Now, can this government do something? Maybe. They also demanded for the North Central Development Commission. We have that with Niger Delta. We have that with North East Development Commission. The Northwest Development Commission is on the way. I think they passed the bill to that effect. Now the North Central does not want to be left out. So we also need a North Central Development Commission to address the huge infrastructure deficit that we face, to tackle problems affecting the region, including violent crimes and all that, you know. So that is significant. If the North Central can get a development commission, look at what the NCDC is doing with its budget. We are now seeing NCDC doing bridges, constructing quality roads under the leadership of the current MD of
NCDC.
Yes, of NCDC, Dr. Sam Ogbuku, has seen a completely new NCDC. We used to simply remember them for stealing and all that. Somebody say, don't choke me, you know. Remember? Off your mic. That they popularized that off your mic. Whereas the idea of saying off your mic is even bad English, but it's now people now speak it as if it's good. It's good. So now the people want attention. You can see the representative of the president at the meeting, the SGF, made promises of roads, say Makurdi Enugu Road, Lokoja Road linking the southwest, Akwanga to Jos. You know, he listed some of those projects that are on the way just to make the people happy and have a feeling that, look, you are not forgotten, you are not neglected. And of course, it's a major food basket of our country. Benue State, for example, is the most fertile part of our country. Everyone can see that Benue is the food basket of our country. But Governor Alia talked about how the state is yet to recover from the floods of 2022 that rendered people homeless and destroyed
lots of
people's crops and all that. So it's, in my view, a way of challenging the government, the ruling government, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to not forget the role that the North Central played in bringing him to power. In Kogi State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu won convincingly. In Kwara, he won convincingly. He didn't lose a single local government, you know. And Niger too, played his part, did very well for the president. So definitely, and of course in Benue, he also won in Benue, even if it's a slim margin, he won in Benue. So they want the president to remember them and help take decisive steps to ensure improvement in the area of infrastructure projects, and then appointment of party members from the zone to key positions. I talked earlier about the fact that they are still unhappy that they didn't get the speaker
another key appointment.
Yes, of the House of Reps, because they felt the Northwest already had deputy Senate presidents. Why can't you give
North Central
the speaker of the House of Reps? But it didn't work out like that. But they will continue to agitate. And then one of the key issues that they came up with was their condemnation in strong terms of the deliberate refusal of the governor of Plateau State to enable the inauguration of 7 APC members into the House of Assembly by the fiat of the courts. Those guys gained seats. But between the governor and the speaker, it is suspected that there's a reluctance to comply with the judgment, and they are saying, look, enough is enough. You need to, this governor and the speaker need to be spoken to so that they can allow those APC members in the House of Assembly to take their seats. And last but not the least is the idea of dredging the River Niger. We've been talking about this for so long. You know, if you dredge the River Niger, it will enable big vessels to be able to move across, you know, and deliver
goods.
Yes, to the center of the country.
Right.
And where articulated vehicles can then take them to different parts of the north. So it's important that we dredge the River Niger. And when we do that, well, it will also free also some of the burden that the Lagos ports are carrying. We have to decongest the Lagos ports.
Right.
We can only do that if we decongest, if we decide to dredge some of the ports that we have. We have more than 10 ports just wasting away. If we can decongest, dredge those ports
River Niger,
so that they can, big vessels
can go through.
We will have, will benefit from it, and there will be greater efficiency, because everyone knows that in terms of port efficiency, we are not there. A lot of people prefer to send their goods to our neighboring countries. Neighboring countries, because the bureaucracy here and unnecessary delay, all those bottlenecks. So I wish them Godspeed. High-powered meeting, and hopefully they will do a lot more of these meetings, so that their demands
are fully met.
Yes.
Labisi, your final thoughts on this, and what implementation strategies now would you prefer to ensure that these propositions see the light of day?
Well, I think definitely they will have to meet more than this for what they are demanding for to be executed, because it's a whole lot, as he has pointed them out. And because the region is not the only region in Nigeria, there are so many other regions also, or many other states also seeking attention one way or the other. So they will need to meet more often to appraise whatever they've been able to achieve, and also continue to make case for themselves, because they need the president's attention, and they also need the federal government's attention as a whole. And I want to believe that, I also think that some of the things they've asked for now, the ones that can be done easily, should be done. at least so that it won't just appear as if it's a talk show.
Like which one do you think should be done at the moment?
I think the issue of Ajakuta, for example, should be tackled. I also think that the issue of infrastructural deficiency in terms of flooding, in terms of taking care of dredging and the rest, there are things that are immediate that can be tackled. I think such could be done. They don't have to, you won't complete the project immediately, but let's see the government making moves to actually see to some of these things that will be of national benefit to the entire nation.
All right.